So happens.
And that one. Right, chat. Can everyone hear us? People hear us? Can you hear me? Can we hear EK? Yes. There we go. Right. There we go.
Cool.
Problem solved. Thank you, Windows 11. So, anyway, as I was saying, and you're just seeing me mouth moving and not here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crash's Community Podcast. Joining me this evening is the wonderful EK. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. How you doing, man?
Well, as we chatted off stream, I'm still suffering with COVID at the minute, but I'm here. This is the first time today I haven't had my mask on, and it's just nice to get a bit of air. Oh,
Yeah. Hopefully
just
you get a
just
speedy recovery.
well, I'm hoping so. I've had it for 7 days now, and it is still testing positive. But anyway,
Yeah.
enough about me. I'm not the reason why people are here. They're here to see you. So, for anyone that hasn't been into one of the podcasts before, it's basically just a nice friendly chat. There's questions from me, and it's a nice little flow that goes through. Uh, if there's any follows, subs, anything like that, just in case there is anything like that, like it's just popped up on the screen. Uh, what I do is I like to do them and shout them out in between the topics. It's just so I'm not constantly saying thank you, and it just disrupts the flow of the conversation. So I always like to. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. I am ignoring you on purpose, but there is a reason to it. So that's a disclaimer. So I'll just quickly go through these. So Reaper, thank you for the resub. That's 11 months. Thank you very much. Red Queen, thank you for the host. Crazy, Stitch for the follows. EK, thank you for the host. And Scruff, thank you for the host. Right, so let's get this show on the road. So, first off is getting to know yourself better. So, first off, whereabouts are you from?
Oh man. That would be a long story, but I'll try to make it short. I was born in a country called Togo, which is in West Africa.
Yep.
My parents moved to the US when I was about 10. I kind of grew up in the New Jersey, New York area. I went to college in Florida and I now live in Seattle.
Wow. Wow. Getting a bit of travelling in there.
Yeah.
Because some people think, like, I was trying to explain to my daughter, like, a state in America is the size of the UK. It's massive.
It's massive.
So, yeah. So just moving about is some distance in America.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Moving from the East Coast to the West Coast took a while.
Yeah. So what was life like growing up for little EK?
Wasn't too bad. I would say get to learn a lot. Got to see like a culture shift from like a French country going into an English one. I don't know. I think my parents did their best, so it was like made sure that I was educated, had food on the plate, and as a kid you're playing sports and stuff like that. So childhood
Yeah.
was definitely fun. Yeah.
And
I would say mhm.
sorry, go on.
I
Sorry.
would say like every area has like the goods and the bads, right?
Yeah, of
But
course I do.
overall, it was still like a pretty good experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, so away from streaming, away from playing video games, you get a night in by yourself, feet up on the sofa, and you've got choice of anything on the television. It can be on Netflix or whatever you watch your stuff on. What's your favourite film or TV show that you'd watch?
Oh man, I watch this like every season when it comes out. There's a show called The Mad Singer. It's hilarious because like some of my community members also watch it. Just have all these like different celebs that like get in an outfit and they sing and they perform and no one knows who they are, and then like over time like mask them off and then you get to figure out who they are,
We
and it's
have
nuts because
we have that.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
people that I'm like, this person can actually sing, like this is insane, like stuff
yeah,
like that. It's always like mind blowing to me. But that's like a show that I'll just watch, and
yeah,
then certain performances are so sick, like you'll go back and watch it again.
yeah. So what else would you watch apart from?
Apart from that, I am like, I mean, growing up, I read a lot of like manga, which is basically like anime but in a written form.
Yeah,
So I normally would get on YouTube and watch some of like the YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, like see what their thought process is on like the previous one that just came out. So
mm,
like for me, it's not more in the anime because remember anime is like the animated version. And it's cool to watch that later on, but like there's no fillers when you're reading like the actual thing, right? It's like a movie, right? There are movies that come out like Harry Potter, but if you
yeah,
read the book was like straight to the point. There weren't any fillers or any like funny scene. It was like this is what's supposed to happen here and then. So like getting to
yeah.
see other people's insight on it is always like a cool thing, right? Because everyone has a different insight when you look at something.
Oh, of
Something drops,
course.
you're like, okay, this is the way I see it. It's almost like a painting. And then someone else is like, well, I don't see that, but I see this. So it's always nice to
Yeah,
just sit there for like hours and watch that.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And what type of music do you like listening to?
Ooh, my like my old iPod, I call him Soul Brother number two. I have every genre you can think of on there. Like it depends on my mood. I can get up in the morning and listen to like Lil Wayne, or it can like go like the complete opposite way. I'm listening to like Mozart, or like
Yeah.
one day I'm deciding I'm walking around the house. I'm like, I listen to some Katy Perry, and everyone's like, man, I'm taking your man card. I was like, why? Because I have emotions. Come on, man. We're human. Like, stop
Yeah,
it. Um, and sometimes it's hard. Like, it's weird to say this, but like opera music is pretty dope too, because
yeah,
of how like much energy goes. Like, it'll go from like calm and smooth to like really loud and powerful, and then come back down. And sometimes like stuff like that kind of like reinvigorates like people's like spirit. Like, it picks you back up. Like, and there's different music like that. That's just not like just lyrics or just a beat that you like, but it's something that's like touching like your emotions.
yeah,
Those are also like those type of music that I like too, right? Like every genre has a thing that kind of like portrays to you. Or on a nice chill day, I like to listen to like Bob Marley, or it's for me it's all over the place. Um, my ex's father actually gave me like this USB disc. He got like music from all over the world, and it's cool because he even had like all these different like Africana music. And I went through it, and I was like, man, this is insane. Like
yeah,
Norbert is probably like I think he's like 6 years old. And he traveled the world a lot, so he has all of these different cultures like tied into like his computer that he put into his USB. So I love music, man, from
yeah,
anywhere. Yeah. I just don't sit there and be like, "Oh, I don't like this and I don't like that." There were certain songs from certain genres that I like and some that I don't like. Even country. I went to college in Florida, and like when we went fishing, because we did it as like a group exercise thing because I played
yeah,
college basketball and we did like team bonding. Fishing is actually like very relaxing. But like during that time, I can listen to country music. It was like hella chill. But if I'm
yeah,
like going out with my friends, I'm not gonna want to listen to that. But like I said, everything has like a mood and a place.
yeah, definitely. I'm the same. So I like dance music that you'd find in nightclubs and stuff. That's what I grew up
Oh
with.
yeah,
That's where the name Gatecrasher came from. It's a big club in the UK. But I found myself lately, and I'll openly admit it. So Adele.
yeah,
So I'll sit and
bro. Her
listen,
voice is powerful, man.
I'll sit and just chill listening to her.
Yeah, there's like, dude, her voice is very powerful. It is insane how someone like singing can like affect your emotions, or like if the lyrics connect to like something that you've been through, it hits even harder at home sometimes, and it's mind blowing to me. But music is one of the craziest gateways of life. Like it helps you remember events and moments that you probably won't remember without it
Yeah,
being there. You
yeah,
know.
definitely. Oh, absolutely. Uh, so, what would you say your favourite food is? If Gordon Ramsay came into your room now with silver platter went, and your favourite food was on it, what would it be?
I hope he's good at making like tacos because he's gonna have to make
Tacos.
like yeah, he's gonna have to make the craziest taco in the world. Maybe like go find some lobsters, like some chipotle aioli, like make it like spicy, like oh, that would be insane. But yeah, I love tacos, man, which is basically Mexican food, but I love tacos.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. And away from gaming and streaming, if obviously you get out and about, what do you like to do?
Um, basketball was like one of my like favorite sports. Like I said, I even played it in college. And recently, I've been like, I went to go put up a shot, and I was like, man, I'm out of shape, and that kind of like got me motivated during the wintertime to kind of work with a trainer. And I think when like the transition happens from like winter into like nicer weather, I'm definitely gonna be out and playing ball again. So like basketball is definitely one of my most favorite things to kind of do. But
Yeah,
if it was like a pastime with friends, bowling. I love bowling. I
bowling.
don't know what it is. I'm not that great at it because when I go bowling, I grab the heaviest ball and I throw it down the middle because I know it's going to go straight down. But besides that, have a nice beer and like get some like nice food from the bar and then just bowl, man. Bowling is fun. I love
Yeah,
bowling. Yeah.
yeah, I enjoy it. I took the kids a couple of weeks ago, just before Christmas. Went up because we've got a couple here where I live, and they love it. Their main aim is to beat me, and any
Yeah.
any good parent would let them. But
Yeah.
but I try to destroy them.
Yeah. Uh, my college best friend, his dad, they used to go bowling together. They had like their own bowling balls, bowling
Wow.
shoes, even gloves. And like I don't even know how they do it, but like they twist the ball. Like and these guys are trying to go for like 300s. And I'm like, okay, cool, my turn. I just throw the thing. But yeah, his dad used to never let him win. His dad used to crush him.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, when you
oh,
said that, I was like, yeah, for sure.
oh, what film does it always remind me of when I go bowling? Is it film with, is it called Kingpin? It's got Bill Murray.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that
Yeah.
comedy, yeah. And he has the detachable thing on his hand.
Yeah, on his hands. Yeah. Yep. There's so much to it, man. There's so much to it. It blows my mind
Yeah,
when you watch it on TV and these professionals are just like hitting everything. I'm like, cool.
I know. So that's end of getting to know yourself.
Mhm.
Uh, so we'll move on to general gaming next.
Okay.
But just quickly, Tornado, thank you very much for the follow. It's appreciated. So, general gaming. So, what was the first video game that you ever played?
Not even sure. I would. I'll probably say had to be Super Mario Brothers. If I had to like sit down and choose one, and it was because one of my friends like brought it to school, and you're not supposed to have like a video, like a Game Boy with you, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, but then after school, like we would play. So it was definitely Super Mario Brothers. Um, 'Cause I was gonna say Metal Gear Solid, but I think I played that later on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what would you say your first console would have been?
It was a Game Boy. It was definitely a Game Boy.
The
Yeah.
original grey brick one, or
Yep.
Game
It's
Boy
a great
Color?
brick one.
Ah,
Yeah. I kept one. I actually have one of like the original Nintendo Game Boy Advance with me.
all right,
These
yeah,
yeah, these are like the old school. And this one has Pokemon Leaf Green in there. And then of course, OG Super Mario Brothers. They're right there.
yeah, Yeah.
I love some of like just the originals, man. They were so good. You know, they were simple, and they kept you entertained.
No, definitely. My first one was on the is it the NES, the Nintendo. Like I'm
Mm,
talking like the late 80s. I'm showing my age here. The late 80s, when Super Mario Brothers was on that. God, games were a lot better in simpler times.
yep.
And
I
the
remember playing what was it, Aladdin, and it was just like it was a perfect game. Like you have to jump over fires, get on your little on the carpet when you need to. It's just
yeah,
like simple, but it was like it kept you in.
yeah. Before the days of game saves, if you lost all your lives, you had to start right back
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yep. Yep. Right at the beginning, there was no saving.
No,
Yeah, that was another, like, crucial thing, like, that kept people going. You were like, "Okay, I have to pay attention. If I die, it's, like, redo all over again."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I did that on the first Sonic the Hedgehog. Got right to the last level. I must have been at it hours,
Hours, yeah.
and I
Oh,
made a
Sonic.
mistake right back to the beginning. I'm just like, I,
And, yeah, Sonic is unforgiving too because there's just a little like, there's certain holes, man. You're like, "Oh, I'll be
espe-
fine," and nope.
especially when you go and
Yeah. Or you
so
try to, like, readjust it, and the game is actually telling you just go normally. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Those were always
yeah, yeah, definitely. Uh, so what would you say your favorite game of all time would be?
favorite game of all time. Hmm. I guess I'd give that to Destiny because it definitely got me to enjoy a game. Like I I played a lot of games before I played Destiny, and I would say I got to like dive in and learn a lot. So I'll say Destiny probably kind of took that over,
Yeah.
and I was like number two probably Metal Gear Solid, but I would say Destiny like kind of took that forefront.
So Destiny's a given.
Hmm.
Which Metal Gear Solid?
Two, I would say two.
Two.
Yeah.
That was on the PlayStation 2. That
Yeah,
was right,
because
wasn't it? Yeah.
like yeah, yep. My friend Nader, I had to trade my Yu-Gi-Oh cards for his Metal Gear Solid. I remember when we were kids. And I think it was like the three God cards came out and I got lucky, ended up with two of one. And he was like, "Hey
Right.
man, I just got an upgrade. What's up?" And I was like, as a kid, you don't know. You're just like, "All right, cool." And we did the trade.
Yeah.
Uh Worth it though. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Like countless hours that you get to put in is just worth it. Like you enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed my time playing it.
Yeah. Well, that like I say, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's if there's no enjoyment, there's no point.
Yeah.
Uh, what other types of games do you like to play? So, are you a secret Just Dance player? Do you like battle royales? What other things do you like playing?
Not a huge fan of battle royales. I like roguelike shooters. So like games like Hades where you get on the platform and you get to pick different like upgrades as you go through it, and you can see the difference in the different upgrades and the builds.
Yeah.
um that's one thing for me that like I enjoy. So Gunfire Reborn is another game that's on Steam that's just like that, right? Like, you do get upgrades once you complete like for your base character, like what their perks and stuff are. But as you go through stages, you get to pick different weapons, you get to upgrade them, and you get to
Yeah.
pick different scrolls that like change how you play the game. I love stuff like that because then that means that there are multiple ways to play that game, not just one. You know, I
Yeah.
love stuff that has options and stuff that has ways for you to make different builds
Yeah. You
or even
see.
puzzles, I would say.
Yeah. Do you play a bit of oh, is it Genshi in it, isn't it?
Genshin
It's
Impact, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I definitely play Genshin as well. Genshin is neat. A lot of people see Genshin as like a money pit. Oh, I need to like, spend money to get characters. The only thing about Genshin is even if you spent that money to get that character's not gonna be good. You still need to go like upgrade the talents. You still need to farm materials to get that character up. You still need to go into domains and farm for artifacts in order to get the character to be better. And you
Yeah.
can spend months and still not have a character like to where you want it to be, right? But it's one of those crucial things. You're like, man, cool. If I can get this going, I can actually use this person, right? So it's pretty neat because well, MTash, he's been doing free to play, and he basically shows that you can play the game without having to pay money.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to think about what you want to invest in and where you want to make builds, and that's the fun thing about games like that. You have the potential to almost like, sure, I can pay for this stuff, but I still have to work for it. That's like you're paying for a gym membership, but you're not going to the gym.
Mm.
What's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat to kind of like that's one of the selling points that I always tell people. Like, yeah, you may get something, but you still have to kind of work on it.
Yeah. Well, whilst I've been isolating at home,
Mhm.
uh, I think I've just stuck another 30 hours into Marvel's Avengers. Now,
Ooh, Avengers. Yeah.
so I'll quite happily admit because I'm a massive Marvel fan anyway.
Mhm.
But the game's brilliant in my opinion. But it has bits of Destiny about it. So you have your main story campaigns that you go through,
Yeah.
but then you have your end game content. Now, the best way to describe it is that there's some bits that are similar to Grandmasters,
Mhm.
and you go in them to get exotic stuff, so you can build all sorts of. There's lots of different builds for different bosses and all that type of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's basically RNG at the end what drops, and
Exactly. Yeah.
and
What
and
drop?
and
Yeah.
there's five different things on, so you get like three perks that are random, so there can be any free perks, and then you have like stats for your health or whatever too, but it can be bits to boost your heroic up quicker, or it could be health, it could be melee damage. There's all these different things,
That
and
kind of reminds me of Diablo because I just started playing Diablo 3. I'm gonna be playing it later on today. It's my fourth day, and that's kind of the same thing. Like you do these rifts and you get gear, but you don't know what like because you need dexterity or vitality. So you have all these different things, and you can only like reroll one. So yeah, like stuff like that is cool because
yeah,
then you get to see like your advancement. You actually get to see a difference once you get that upgrade. Um, so yeah, I actually have more of the Avengers. I haven't like dived into it yet. I have a list of games that I've been trying to play because like this season has been really long and
yeah,
like even with Grandmasters, I think a lot of people kind of got their stuff out of the way. So like I just been kind of like more focusing on myself. Like, hey, what can I enjoy before Witch Queen?
yeah, yeah,
Because
definitely,
you need it too. I tell people all the time, you have to focus on yourself too, because like, yeah, it's cool, you get all these viewers because you're playing a certain game, but the people have to be there for you and not just the game, right?
yeah,
When someone hits the follow
exactly,
button, you want them to follow you for you and not just like what game you're playing,
yeah,
because the content wouldn't be there without you. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No,
it's it's it's,
absolutely
it's one of
correct.
those hard things. People get burned out, man. I've seen a lot of people get
Yeah,
burned out and they stop playing for the longest time because they're not happy anymore, and it's hard to try to like tell someone to do that. Especially if they're trying to grow. But even my friends, like when they ask me, like, "What do I do?" Like, I want to get partner. I'm like, you have to like enjoy what you're doing on screen because people get to see that. But if you're not enjoying what you're doing on screen, they're gonna see that too. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. Well, I'm currently taking a small break from Destiny. Uh,
Yeah.
I've no lifed it since 2014, the beta,
Yeah.
and I played it every single day for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I got to the point before Christmas, and I'm just like, I love the game, I love it, but I just need to just take a step back. And that's why I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of Warzone with my son, and I love Warzone. And
Yeah.
it has lots of faults, but I enjoy it. And Avengers, and I'm trying to get my characters. There's raids in Avengers. I want to do the raids, so I'm trying to get my characters
Yeah.
to the. And it's nice just to think about something else. Like I say, Witch
Oh,
Queen's
I
a few weeks away.
think we just got stuck.
We just what? Sorry.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you able to hear me in Discord? Uh-oh. Can you- Okay, you're
I,
back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. For some reason, like your screen froze for me for a little bit, so sorry
Oh
about that.
no, apologies. But no, I was just saying that there's raids and stuff in Avengers that I want to get my characters up to, and it's nice just to think about something else before Witch Queen obviously
Yeah,
appears, because that's looking
yeah, it's looking really good.
mighty good, especially with them
Yeah,
wielding the light. It just adds a new dynamic.
yeah. It's just, I mean, it's always nice to be fresh, to like kind of dive in and get like all this new stuff. That's always going to be a good thing. But
Yeah,
if you've been playing something the whole time and then new stuff come out, yeah, sure you enjoy it, but it's not going to be the same as like, okay, I stepped away for a little bit. Oh my god, I come back, I'm enjoying the feel of it, and I get to like see all these new things, and it's
yeah,
just I, I like that a lot more.
yeah. Well, as we're sliding towards Destiny, that is the next topic. See, this is old school. I have everything written down on pen and paper. Old school. It's me questions, so I don't forget what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh no, I love
So just before we go
it.
on to yeah,
I have notebooks everywhere, everywhere. Of taking notes, man.
just before we move on to Destiny, then. So Skull Rider, thank you very much for the host. It's very appreciated. Uh, so Destiny. So let's start right at the beginning. What got you interested in Destiny?
It was a college roommate named Perry. He had it on his PlayStation, and he was like, "Hey, man, make a character, see if you like it." Um, mind you, I was in college. I had two practices a day, and I had classes, and then like during basketball season, I just did my best to kind of like stay out of trouble. Like I would try not to like go out partying or doing too much. So like playing video games was like a neat way to kind of like get away from that. So like Perry played on the golf team, and I was scheduled sometimes like he would be out when I'm in. So like I got to like kind of play, and then got on, and I didn't understand the world at first.
Yeah,
Like any other game you get in, you're like I don't know what's happening, and
yeah.
over time I started enjoying it. Um, the the weirdest thing is that he was leaving the next semester, and Taco Bell was doing like a
A
PlayStation
promotion type thing.
thing, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was $5 buy a Taco Bell box and have a chance. So the first time I went, I didn't get a box for the $5 promotion. So the next time we went, I asked the lady like, "Hey, I didn't get a box last time. Can I get an extra box?" And they gave me two boxes. I ended up winning a PlayStation Destiny Edition off of Taco Bell. And then I guess that's what kind of like got me to like play the game even more. Because once he was gone and I had my own, it was just like, all right, let's see how this goes. I made friends. That's how I got into Destiny.
yeah. Well, for me, it was because I've always been PlayStation, always, but I had lots
Yeah,
of friends at school that were Xbox, and obviously
yeah,
Halo, and obviously the first lot were done by Bungie, and they're like, "Oh, Halo's ace, da 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 da," and I'm like, "Well, good, I'll take your word for it." But then obviously when Bungie came out, we're doing a cross-platform AAA space shooter, and I'd heard all these good things about Halo. I had to try it, and
yeah.
I tried the beta, and I'm like, the gunplay and everything's great. Uh, and then I went and bought it on day release, and 7 years later, we're still here.
Yeah.
What moment sticks in your mind with Destiny? So when I ask this question, it's like a wow moment. So, and I always use this example. So for me, it was the first time I'd done a raid. So it was King's Fall, and we got to Oryx, the very last bit, and it's where he the ginormous Oryx just comes up
Yeah, it just comes up.
and comes
Yeah.
up, and you're just looking the first time, and I'm just like, wow. What would you say? It can be anything. It can be your first trials, flawless. It can be anything. But what would you say was the thing that you just thought again? Wow.
I think going into the Vault of Glass in Destiny 1 and just like not knowing encounters and stuff like my friends brought me in and just killing stuff and I was like, "We're just killing stuff? Okay, cool." You know, and then there's like, "Get on this plate." All right, cool. And then we get inside like and it was just the whole experience was mind-blowing because it was I guess like my first time like doing a raid
Yeah.
in the game and they all hated me at the end because I got a Praetorian foil and a Vex Mythic class. But I was they were like Persona 4 never drops. It's like one of the rarest things. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. He's like, put in your vault if you're not gonna use it. I was like, fine, man. I'll put in the vault.
Mm.
And I got a Vex, and they were like, they were just pissed off. They were like, we've been doing this raid every week. You never got this. Like, what the hell? And it's weird because that's still a thing in Destiny. Like, new players always get like the stuff that like the veterans going after. And I just, like throughout the whole thing, even at the boss, I did like when we got teleported to things, I I fell off the map and died, and they had to pick me up and figure out all this. It was chaotic, but at the same time, I'm like, man, this game has like depth to it. This is actually like pretty neat, you
Yeah.
know. And then I started paying more attention the next time I went in, and then the like everything that we did, I started paying more attention because I noticed like this is using the Vex like the weapon that they were going after. Like this thing was shredding stuff, and I was like, holy cow! So like it's just it's that's what like kind of like shifted me going into raids and enjoying them. And then I started doing raid help like later on because it just like it brought in this like this feeling of like finishing something with someone new and like them not knowing what's going on, but you getting to like explain that to them. So maybe in the future they get to like get the same experience or same feeling that you had when you first did it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're mentioning raids. What would you say your favourite raid would be out of any D1, D2?
Oh, it'd be King's Fall.
King's Fall, yeah.
It's Yeah, it was a true full raid. Like when you think about the word raid, you're going somewhere and you're trying to like raid it down. And this thing is you go into the dreadnought, you open up a portal, you're actually going into raiding a ship and
Yeah.
then like like the whole thing, the whole setup, like uh, the jumping ships thing,
Mm.
getting to get into the main door, having to open the main door by doing like it was actual raid, like
Yeah.
and you when you open that main door, there's like a guard there that you have to take. Like the whole entire thing is just insane, you know.
Yeah.
But if you look back at Destiny, the whole franchise, that is the one true full raid with many bosses and many like challenges and patterns that you had to go through.
Yeah.
Like I look at every other raid and I call them raid layers because even Last Wish, the first two encounters are basically the same boss to me. So it's just like
Mm. Yeah.
King's Fall is literally the one true like full raid that they ever created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, King's Fall's the first raid that I ever did, and it obviously holds a special place in my heart. But for me, looks and how the rewards and loot looked, it's Wrath of the Machine. I'm a sucker for red and black, but it was the fact that the secret quest appeared and the whole internet went berserk with it. That I
Yeah.
think that just added to the whole experience of Wrath for me, anyway.
Yeah. No, Raph was a great raid for sure. It was a great raid.
Uh,
Even the first round, charging up the balls and getting the shield down and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely great raid.
yeah, and well, if they're bringing stuff out of the content vault, and they do it in order, I think it would be Crota next.
Yeah, but my thing is, Crow doesn't really go well with the story that's
No, I know it
currently
doesn't.
happening. And
It's got,
also, I feel like we got Crowed back in like the Nightmare Hunts. Like you got to like basically kind of do the same mechanic.
yeah,
I don't think we're gonna be seeing Crowed back. Uh, especially if it's going into like Sabaton and
it's got to be King's Fall.
yeah, it's probably gonna be King's Fall because in the trailer that did this release yesterday, you see like Oryx fighting a worm as a statue. So like all that stuff kind of points to that. But
Yeah,
who knows? Yeah.
yeah. So, what else do you like or enjoy doing in Destiny?
I would say like just theory crafting, uh, learning patterns. Like if I go into the activity, I always try to see like what makes stuff like tick. Like if I take this thing out, will something else come out? What
Mm,
health bar in this boss triggers what? Like, you know, like if I step here or if I don't move too far forward, what happens? Those are
yeah,
like my niches. Like I get to like I try to just like analyze a lot of that stuff because the next time you go in, it makes it a lot easier. Also, like gives you a reminder, like, all right, cool, I can kind of live here. I can almost live here. If I go there, my chance of dying are pretty high.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
just stuff like that. It comes back and helps you in the future because it becomes like a second like nature.
Mm,
And a lot of people always ask like, how do I get better at the game? I'm just like, pay a little bit of attention. That's it. That's all you have to do.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Which, well, with GMs, excuse me, GMs has a lot of that type of stuff in. So
Yeah.
move to a certain point, and you've just got an angle just to take a champion on, and then just move to this bit to do. There's a lot of that in the GMs, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that drawn me to GMs is like if you do stuff and you're at level or you're over level, you could do whatever, right? But when you get into a situation where the ads are 25 levels above you and you have to be smart about it, now you have to figure out exactly what you need to do in order to stay alive. So that was another neat thing about like GMs. And when they first came out, nobody wanted to do GMs. I think Bungie has made GMs easier over time. Like they have like slowly like taken out like even corrupted like okay, let's take out all these ads from here, let's like make this boss not push as much anymore,
Yeah,
right? Like they've been doing things to kind of make it a lot smoother, like proving ground, give Arbalest anti-barrier, that makes that middle room kind of like a joke now. So there's like multiple things that like over time they kind of made a lot easier. Like even champions, I think a lot of people didn't understand how champions work. Whereas like, okay, let me go in this nightfall. I'm gonna die a lot, but I want to see exactly what makes this guy tick. I want to
yeah,
see what makes that guy tick. I want to see what I need to do in order to be efficient. You know, and some people, I have friends that love to do that too. But it's one of those things that like, okay, cool. I know this is gonna be tough, but how do I do this? And then how do I implement another person into it? How do I
yeah,
implement the third person into it? And then that's where you kind of like start figuring out team concepts that can work the best together.
yeah,
You know, especially if you're helping people. How do I make it to where someone doesn't have to do as much as me, but they can still contribute and learn from it? You know, those are like those are the ways that I look at it. You know, people say, "Oh, I'm doing a grandmaster carry." I'm like, I'm not doing a carry. I am trying to help educate. I'm trying to
yeah.
do help. The whole
Yes,
reason why you're coming in is because I want you to know exactly what I know. So the next time you do with your friends, they can understand what you know. You know, like it's not just okay, jump in a backpack. If that's the case, I might as well just like solo them or like just do it with my friends. You know, the whole point is like spreading knowledge
yeah,
because then that means like the next person kind of knows, right? In the next season, like, oh, yeah, I thought this strike was hard, but I could just do this, you know. And
yeah,
each season, artifact does change some of that aspect, but
yeah.
that's what I see.
But then that person, if they've listened and took on board everything that's happened, they pass that knowledge on to someone else that goes with them, and then that person eventually, ta- and it goes along the
Yeah,
line, and it's
and it goes along.
spreading that
Yeah,
knowledge.
and the neat thing is, some people like they'll probably change it to the way that their play style is. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I see what you did here, but I want to use this for this, right? and then that allows people to like come up with different strategies and things to work with, like different angles, right? Because
Yeah,
if you tell one person a story and they tell the next person, that story is probably not going to be the same when it gets back to you. But everyone added their own little niche to it, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So if you could add, change, or remove something from Destiny, what do you think it'd be?
Hmm.
Doesn't have to be all three. You can just obviously pick one of them. For me, it's add more vault space. It's that simple. For me,
I mean, yeah, the
or
Dublin Vault
sort
Space would
collections.
be, yeah, no, Dublin Vault Space would be one of the things up there. And I'm being told all the time that like it's because of old gen, they can't really push it. Um,
Yeah,
who knows? But yeah, Vault Space is a big one. Uh, even from like a PvP perspective, I know that they have battle line and all this jazz, but there's still people kind of like, you know, cheating and all that craziness.
mm,
Maybe a way to just like I don't know, maybe find a way. I know that they want to do the peer to peer thing. Maybe find a way to where like people actually have different zones that they can connect in. So then, like, let's say like I get on and I'm like, all right, I'm in NA. I want to play on NA. For some reason, I'm matching Australians at this time of night, or I'm matching Koreans. If it can be region locked, I wouldn't even mind that either because then that would
yeah,
make the experience a little bit better, you know?
yeah,
Especially now that cross plays a thing, you have all these different like people jumping in from different places. It should be easier to kind of lock people into like certain places in the world to kind of play. You know, like seeing someone run into a wall and then all of a sudden that person kills you shouldn't be a thing, you know? But it happens.
I've
Uh,
seen it plenty of times. It's happened to me plenty of times.
yeah, it doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
no,
It happens, and it's just it sucks, but it definitely happens.
it does definitely. So that's the end of the Destiny topic.
Okay.
So we are going to move on to streaming, stroke content creating.
Okay.
So how long have you been streaming for?
I would say about 5 years. I've been doing it for about 5 years.
5 years. That's a long
Yeah.
time in streaming terms.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Uh, it might be 5.5. I think someone just popped their 55 month resub, but yeah, about like 5.5.
Yeah.
And
What
yeah,
what did you start with? What was it
I
that
started, I started with Destiny. I started with Rhoda's End. Uh, I used to bring one of my clanmates with me because we noticed that LFG would just help people must have Gallahorn,
Oh
and
God.
we were like, you know what, we're gonna do our best to just like try to get some people through. And basically, I never had a hunter at the time, but I literally made a hunter and deleted him twice so I can get the gear needed, and then we started doing help. It's crazy. Someone asked me the other day, they're like, I looked at your wasting in Destiny 1 and like you made a hunter 3 times. Why? And I was like, because I need a gear. And it was my first time ever like actually
Yeah.
creating a hunter. Um, we used to just bring all these little kids in. They didn't like, they didn't have Gallahorn or anything like that. Some of them actually got Gallahorn after killing Crota. But it was neat to like I said, there were multiple ways to kind of play the game.
Yeah.
When people see a meta, they stick to that meta, which is kind of crazy. But cluster bombs were really good for Crota as well. The main things you have to focus on is you shoot at his feet. That means that your cluster bombs are going to be around him.
Yeah.
So I used to just tell the kids, don't aim at him because he's going to move. But if you shoot around his legs, we can still get DPS. And, like it worked. Like people brought in their truth and stuff like that, and it worked. And I used to just do that all day long. I used to do like 12, 13-hour streams. I would just get off. And I started in the summer too. So I didn't have any classes. I didn't have anything to do. It
Yeah.
was just like hang out with friends and did that for hours. And before I knew, like, more people came in to kind of get like the help and stuff like that. And then I think Kingsflow was like one of the biggest ones for me. Uh, it was fun. I remember people told me, "Hey man, you need 2 bubbles at the boss and all." I was like, "No, I don't want any bubbles. We're gonna run Celestial Nighthawks." We would go in there all like me and my helpers will be all hunters with Celestial Nighthawk. Ogre comes out, he's dead. And we ran sleepers. Because sleeper will one shot Oryx in the chest whenever he did the whole hand thing.
Yeah,
And a Nighthawk would finish him off whenever he's in final stand. So we just made orbs for each other and constantly just like ran through that room, and it was fun. I had some guy tell me he was like, you done this way too many times. You must be doing the checkpoints." I was like, just sit and chat, all right? You could just watch. And like we just like we ran through the thing. Like even like the ogre encounter. You know, people were always talking about like grabbing the gaze and people were scared. And
yeah,
it's like, I don't know if you remember Boolean Gemini, the scout rifle.
yeah.
That thing was beautiful. Like just use it, you get the three tab. And it was like it was wonderful. And everyone had like, their goldies and their whisper of the worms, and you just like demolished that guy. Everything just had a strategy, and it, like I said, like I enjoyed it. It was fun being able to play the game with people and show them a different way to play it. Um, and somehow over time, my channel, got partnered on the platform. But it's been a crazy journey, and I don't think I would like kind of take it any other way
So,
when it comes to streaming.
so if somebody came up to you, brand new streamer, or they're thinking about streaming, what bit of advice would you give them for starting?
Oh, that's easy. I'm still working on that, but if when you start out streaming, you want to be on multiple platforms. You want your name to ring in multiple places. And one of the main places is YouTube. Um, I neglected YouTube for maybe 3 years out of my 5 years being like a streamer,
Yeah,
and I would have spent more time on that as well. The growth would have been exponential in both places. And it's funny because some of my peers, like we talk about it, they're like, "Yeah, man, you should have been working on this a long time." And I was like, like you sometimes you learn as you go along. You just
yeah,
don't like get up and figure it out. Um, and nothing is built in a day, in a month, in a year. It's always consistent progress. And I always tell streamers, stop looking at the next streamer's growth. Focus on yours. If you
yeah,
get two more viewers in the next month or so, that is still growth. That is your growth. Stop worrying about the guy that got 100 or 1,000, in a few months. He had to do the same thing. He had to basically take those steps. And you know, it's weird because when I wanted to work with companies in the past, they were like, "Yeah, your Twitch is cool, but what else do you have?" Right? They would ask about my Twitter, they would ask about my YouTube, they would
yeah,
ask about like my Instagram, and I used to never be active on those platforms. I only had one thing, so you know, my advice too is like, don't be a one trick pony. You have to focus on other angles besides. The thing is, you're a content creator. That means that you have to create content in multiple places, and that makes you a source that people want to come to, that companies and businesses want to work with, because you just don't have one thing. You have an audience somewhere else too. Like
yeah,
TikTok is still kind of funky for me, but I think I started uploading like funny clips and stuff like that, and that kind of works.
yeah,
But yeah, you have to be multidimensional. You can't just focus on going live on Twitch every day. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, yeah, I'm grinding. I'm streaming 15, 20 hours every day. I'm doing 24-hour streams all the time." That is not going to help you grow as much if you're not working on everything else. And I'm a clear example of that. I told people I did I think in one year I did like maybe 36 24-hour streams one time, and I could have spent that time a little bit more on YouTube,
yeah,
and I would have seen a bigger growth on Twitch just because of that as well. So yeah, definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket.
yeah.
You got to spread them out. You have to spread them out.
Great advice. Great advice, and yeah, someone in chat's 100% agreeing with you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm,
S-
I'm telling you, it's weird to say it, but um, the, the YouTube audience will watch you because it is like something that they get to watch when you're not live. But
Mm.
you're gonna notice that there's going to be people that actually want to talk to you while you're live because of it, right?
Yeah.
Um, the Twitter thing, like if you're tweeting out and you're talking about, your certain opinions or how you feel about certain things, some people are going to kind of feel that same energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're tweeting out like, okay, I just put up a new video. Check this out. Hey, I am going live. As long as your Twitter is not just, hey, I'm going live all the time, you're gonna notice if you're interacting with folks, they're gonna want to like know a bit more about you, right?
Yeah.
And that is also another thing. So it's hard. You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. Yeah.
So you've got a fantastic community. Uh, I've been and watched you loads of times, and the energy in your chat and everything about it is really really good. I love watching and just watching what goes on in your chat. But how would you describe your community?
Oh man, there are a bunch of people that want to see me in pain, but uh, it's hard to not like leave the bad seeds in your chat, and like because you want people to be there and you want to have viewers. But over the years, I have done my best to weed out like bad or negative energy,
Yeah.
just because like in the long term that it's not going to help you. That one person that's bringing all that energy is actually pushing some of the people that would love to be around you away.
Yeah.
And I tell people this too. I was like, I'm not a streamer for everyone because if you come up with some bullshit, I'm probably gonna call it out. But I
Yeah.
have to because everyone needs to be comfortable in the same room. Your stream is basically like it's like your own little like table. Like it's your round table. And you want the people at the round table that want to interact in a nice way. They don't want to like just sit there and bash you. They don't want to bring in all this negative energy because if you sit around and chat, you're bashing something, and more people are bashing it. That's just negative energy. There's no need for that. Like
Yeah.
you, the, the thing is, if you have a crappy day as a streamer, just get off. Like release that energy somewhere else. But if you release it out into the wild, maybe someone is already like at the peak. They're gonna, that may get that person to explode. As streamers, our jobs is to just entertain. Someone's coming to watch you because they're like, all right, I don't have anything to watch on TV, or like, I don't want to do this chore right now. What can I do to kind of like pass my time? Okay, I can watch this streamer that kind of plays a game that I like. You
Yeah.
know, I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
some people come in to interact with you, they say hello, and then they're lurking because COVID is a thing, and they're at work, and they just want to have something nice in the background. Now, imagine someone's watching you at work, and you're like cursing someone out and freaking out and all this madness. It's like, no, that's not what the person wants. They want
Yeah.
something that's going to be like chill, and it sucks, especially as a beginning streamer because you want to make everyone happy, but you can't. Some people just love conflict, and it's
Oh
it's,
God,
it's
yes.
sucks.
God, yes. Unfortunately, that's
And
in every walk of life.
oh my, you can do all the nicest things in the world, right? And there'll be that one person like, I hate this person. Like, why are they so nice? Like that is going to happen. Can't please everyone. That is the true fact.
Yeah. So we have the final question of this episode. So obviously you've said you've been streaming 5.5 years now. Obviously partner on Twitch. Uh, but do you have any goals or things that you'd like to do in the future? Uh, well, just broaden it as content creating. Uh, do you want to do your own live show? Do you want to venture into other things? Is there anything that you're looking at?
um, I've been looking into more voice acting.
All right.
So yeah, there's been this site that has like all these different auditions. They give you like the description of the character. They allow you to record your voice, and I've been doing a lot of that, man. I haven't gotten like a gig yet, but it's one of those things. I'm like, man, imagine like you're watching like your favorite like cartoon show, or you're watching like just like some like weird like ad, and it's your voice, like, like, just
Yeah.
playing and talking about stuff like that, so, like, it was just neat because my friends always told me, like, "Yeah, man, you got, like, a voice to do, like, a bunch of, like, stupid stuff." I was like, "Cool, yeah, why not try that?" Be a cool lane to kinda get into. Um, it's not easy,
No.
but, it's nice to kinda do it. We'll see how it goes, but that's one of my goals for sure, is to
Yeah.
try to get into voice acting. Yeah.
Who knows? Grand Theft Auto 6 is a few years away. Maybe. Maybe. Get yourself a
Cool,
voice in one of the characters.
yeah, yeah. I actually been looking into, like, voice acting classes because there's someone that, like, lives in my area that kinda, like, can get you into auditions.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna start doing that once the weather gets a little bit warm. I can't
Yeah.
wait. Yeah.
No, well, fingers crossed. Obviously, some you get. Sorry, my dog's
Ah,
hitting
you're
my leg.
fine.
Uh, uh, Fingers crossed, something comes of it, and all the best
Yeah,
with that. Um, that'd be something. That'd be something awesome because it'd be something really proud. Even though you're not on the screen like we are now, but
yeah.
like you say, it could be an advert. So I did put this in a glass because I didn't want to show it off because of advertising and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
And for anyone watching, I'm not sponsored by Carling Lager, um, but it could be someone's just drinking that and you're voicing over it, and it's a national advert,
yeah.
for example, and you're
Boom.
and you're just like, big, that's me.
Yeah, I did some of the additions, like, I streamed and just chatting to my chat, and I was going through some of the voices, and chat's like, "No, they said that that guy is more aggressive, you gotta be more aggressive," and I was like, "Alright, I don't think I'm doing any more recordings while streaming." Because everyone was just, like, backseat, I'm like, "But it has to be natural, I have to be able to, like, do it on my own," you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Right, well, that's the end of
Yeah.
this episode of the podcast, and just on time.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invite.
So, thank you very much. First off, for agreeing to come and join me. I've enjoyed that. It's been insightful,
Anytime.
and you're a very top cool person, as I've now learned, and a lot of respect to the advice you gave, and obviously the slight different career path that you're looking at. No, uh, what can I say? Top person. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Alright.
joining me, and thank you everyone in chat for joining us this evening, chatting away, picking on each other, and doing what you usually do while you're here. But again, thank you very much, EK. So to
No problem.
end the stream, we always go host out. And you'll like this. So while I bring a different screen up, this is me talking and just doing some filler while I get it to host out to someone,
Okay.
because it makes it look like I'm not doing a filler, because I should have it on the right screen. But it's also seeing who's online. So, right, I know where we're going. It says, there we go. So, do that. Right, so we are going to see a really good. Well, I wouldn't send you anywhere that isn't good, obviously, but we're going to go see Stog, who's a very, very good Warzone player. Uh, I've had many interactions with Stog. He's a brilliant lad, and I love going in and watching him because I like Warzone and I enjoy watching. So we're going to go say hello to him.
Yeah.
So I believe he says he believes. because that just went off my screen. So there is a raid command that we copy and paste when we go show some love to another channel. Let me just do that again because that didn't work. For some reason it stopped it. Do that, do that. So like I was saying, if copy and paste that raid command into Stog's chat, it'd be much appreciated. Show him some love, drop him a follow if you don't already follow him. Like I say, he's an awesome Warzone player. But once again, EK, thank you very much for joining me.
All right,
It's been a pleasure. And good night, everyone. Take care, and I will see you next time.